What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to They Are Billions. My name is Splat. Happy to have you here today. We are hanging out and playing this fine-ass little game. We're wiping out a city right now. We're leveling up some snipers, trying to get some XP under their belts, so that once we get further on into the game, we can put like 10, 15 snipers on every wall. We are maxed out on every resource because I'm staring at combat again. This is how it always happens. This is how it always happens. Every single time I get caught up in combat and I waste a whole bunch of resources. We'll go for a little bit of food right there. We'll go for a 44 right there. We'll go for a 46 right there. I can't really do a whole lot else on that side. There is something to be said about maybe walling that off. Maybe walling that off. How close to the top of the map is that? Close enough. It'll get us more access to grass over here, which I think is going to be our next major stopgap. We got to find our way to food. Finding our way to the Victual Shack is going to be the most important part here. I don't think, so we can drop like one right there and we'll get 18 food for like the 4 we lose or whatever. It'll be alright. I'm at that point right now where I'm trying to eke out every last little speck of food I can possibly get out of this map, because that's just sort of the position we're in right now. We've got not a lot of equitable land left. I might be able to drop a farm right there, and that might get us an extra, like, 35, 40 food. We should have another 100 food coming in. We're going to need it for units. Gonna need it for units, and we're going to need it for some other things, but everything else along our grid is looking great right now. There's nothing to concern ourselves with. On that side, we are getting hit by a few zombies. A couple. A gaggle. They're just sort of hanging out, causing problems. They like to trickle through every now and again. We are going to need more than 3 ballistas down here, though. And so my suggestion would be we should drop like another 1 or 2 down in this area. Power is going to be the next part that I am very much concerned about. Industry-wise, we want to get back up to 40 wood, and I'm going to try and drop a warehouse in a smart spot, although I've kind of built in every nook and cranny, so we may struggle with that a tiny bit. Still, that'll give us food and more stone right there. This right here is probably the best way to go, because that'll get a lot of our little fishermen's huts kind of doubled up. What do they do? So how much of a bonus do these give me as far as production and other locations go? I mean, the other thing I could do is I could just drop it over here in my farmland, and food is going to be the main concern, I think, for the rest of this playthrough. And so if I can make sure that every single one of my farms and hunter shacks and everything else, yeah, we'll just drop it right there. That's fine. I will drop the warehouse in that spot. That allows us to get up to the 6,000 gold we're going to need to accomplish some of the other tasks in the game that are in front of us. We got a little bit of power, a little bit of food left. I'm going to continue on upgrading houses because I love having a gold surplus. When you have a gold surplus, you can basically just buy all the stuff you don't have anyways. And so if you're going to run out of anything but gold. That's just my opinion. If you, ooh, we got gold over here though too. Damn, we got gold coming out of our ears right now. All right, gentlemen. Ladies, keep inchy squinching your way forward. We're going to get this second city out of the way. Killing the cities on your map is a major thing that you want to get done. If you aren't killing cities, the cities actually just dump bodies into combat at the end. I haven't had a chance to observe it myself, but I've had several other people say that they've left a scout at the end of the game over by the cities. And I guess when the game ends, they just go straight like ham. The cities just unload everything on you. And it adds insult to injury. Like, it adds extra enemies to locations that you just can't afford to defend for right now. So there we go. Extra resources in. Most of our houses are on their way out. We have the THANATOS unit. A powerful melee unit that will launch missiles. Let's get one. Now that we're maxed out on oil, we want to turn off our oil derricks just to get the power back and to get our upkeep back. So there it is. As you can see, it's about 150 per oil derrick. So if you're maxed out, oil does not actually justify its own cost. Oil sells for less than the upkeep of the building that it uses to run. And so always disable your oil buildings if you're maxed out on oil so that you can get more gold and you can get your power and your workers back, and then you can concern yourself with setting that shit back up later. We got enemies right there. You guys kind of just hang out in this direction. I would love it if you guys could just snipe that building right there. Thank you. Perfecto. That's another building down. I don't want these guys too far out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to have some of them fall back towards... Yeah, there you go. Attack, move your way back to base. Don't pick up any of those resources yet. We're going to save them for later, for if we get ourselves into like a bottleneck situation with our resources. It does happen from time to time where you have unforeseen expenditures and stuff like that. And so I personally prefer to just sort of leave a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We still got some room right there for a few more power plants. A few more mills anyways, a few more windmills. I do think we're going to have to take more territory. We may have to box this off, kill that wall right there so that we can get the stone and the iron from right there. And then we can use this for food generation all along that coast. We're not going to be able to go to the west because that's the edge of the map, and I don't want to get map blocked as far as building goes. So we're not even going to entertain that. The other possibility is that we go this way. But we can't build right there because that's the edge of the map. So it's not going to let us wall that off. And so I think going over there is a bad idea too. I think it'll backfire on me. Ideally, what I'd love to do right now is get these guys back up inside base. We've picked them off in that direction. And really, I just want to have, like, somebody back at base who's able to defend stuff if things go sideways. So I'm going to take the soldiers and the snipers out. They move a little bit slower, but that's okay because their killing power is amplified. And hopefully this will be a good enough troop stack to mash its way through anything that comes along. This is a test. This is basically research on my part. I'm putting on scientist goggles, and hopefully this works the way that I want it to work. But if it don't, we have a new unit available, the Thanatos. Let's go see what the Thanatos is going to cost me. It looks like a beardy guy with like a cigar. What's the Thanatos cost? So for a Thanatos, it costs 10 oil, 10 iron, 2 food, 600 gold. That's not that bad. That's not that bad at all. Turn one of these guys back on. Why are those so dirt nasty cheap? Build me a couple of them. I've heard they're like mortar units. That's what I've heard they are, is that they like fire mortars basically at the enemy. So they stand back hella far away and they just go thunk, and they fire like grenades or rockets or something into the sky that do like tons of damage. And so I'm excited about that. That sounds pretty cool. I don't know what their upkeep's going to look like. Do we know what their upkeep is? I wish that it said on the unit card right here what their concurrent upkeep was going to be in terms of gold. But they cost oil as well, so that's the other thing is that, watch out, they have oil upkeep now. And so when things have oil upkeep, it tends to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm going to save up for executors next. I'd like to get all the walls secured. I probably will try to push out further and take more land. Maybe expand a tiny bit more aggressively, but not until the next wave comes in. We've got enough money right now to where we should be able to last for the foreseeable future. We're at 1629, so when I see the thing pop up here, I'm going to check it and see what they cost us in terms of upkeep. So they cost us 1 gold, and they cost us, they cost us 12 gold, and they cost us 1 oil. Okay. Not my favorite, but I do think that's a little bit of a heavy-handed change, where every single unit that uses oil costs oil. If that's going to be the case, then they just shouldn't cost oil in the front place. And, like, why am I paying, like, 20 oil up front if they're going to cost me hundreds of oil potentially just to fuel them, you know? It's one of those things where I think that was a little bit heavy-handed of a change. I get why they did it because of the Titan spam. We got a horde coming in from the east. All right, gentlemen. If they're coming in from the east, you guys get over here. Move your way on through. Hopefully they can outrun the horde. Thanatoses are ready to go, so on the plus side, we get to see what those are going to do. Oh, those look pretty badass. It's like a giant man inside of a weird sheet metal suit. Okay. How fast are they? Not that fast, unfortunately. Not that fast. You guys kill those. Yeah, don't let them roll out on you like that. Get back down here. We'll start grouping up for the next assault. And now that our gold is capped out, I want to see... Give me the executors. We're going to start converting things over to executors. But we're going to have to build more houses and stuff, too, before that's going to work. Because executors get expensive in terms of power and in terms of upkeep. They get very, very expensive. These walls over here, I'll probably just put a wall, executor, all the way back. And once I convert this over, because we can't really pinch that any further forward, but we are going to need more defenses on this side, and I don't like the way that's panning out. The horde does not attack uniformly in the final wave from every direction, and so it behooves you to make sure that every direction is extra defensible, just in case they decide to put more pressure on one spot than you thought they were gonna. And I don't like it when they gonna, and so... we'll play around with it. This area also looks pretty ripe for expansion. I might be able to take something down here, especially if I can box that off right there and, like, box that off. I might do that. I might try to grab all of this in one go and see where that leaves us towards the final wave. All my units are coming back in. We got a horde of infected coming from the east. Hopefully they don't hit this wall down here. It does look like they're coming in high, though. I'm excited to see what these THANATOSes can do. I want to see, like, what they accomplish. Bring the other one over here, too, as soon as it's done. Yep, bring that one over here with a quickness, please. Alright, all of you guys kind of line up on the walls. We got snipers ready to go. Hopefully they'll be able to join the combat before this gets too rowdy. I think they're going to come in and they're going to try and hit us, like at this angle right here is my thought. And so if everybody can kind of just get in this region, just squish yourselves on in. Make friends. I know it's hard. I know it's stressful. So what's he going to do? Oh, wow, yeah. So he actually deploys. Oh, cool. That's a really sweet unit. I like that a lot. Hopefully it doesn't affect my own walls, though. I don't think that it does. God, that knockback, though. Wow, that was the stuff. Does the Thanatos get elite status? It does not. So he doesn't fire very fast. In fact, he fires a lot slower than the snipers do. But that's a sweet-ass unit. That's a really sweet-ass unit. I like that way better than the Titan. Like, the Titan is cool, and we'll probably still make a couple of them. But having a few Thanatoses to watch the walls and make sure that things don't get too far out of hand. Like, if I could deploy like 6 or 7 of these along every single front where we're going to get attacked at the end of the game, they add extra knockback. They add extra knockback that the zombies can't get through. So, good stuff right there. No harm, no foul. Put like 3 of those on each wall where we might conceivably be attacked. Veterans, go out there. I gotta do this kind of a weird way because we've got troop stacks for a minute. And I didn't actually put them all in the exact same keybind. So we've got Thanatoses now. That's great. I figure we put like 4 Thanatoses on each wall just to keep an eye on it. And they should be able to put down some real DACA. How much damage do they do? 60 damage. So they do the damage. They do twice the damage of a veteran soldier. Almost 3 times the damage of a veteran soldier in an AoE blast. How much does that do? I'm now curious. I kind of just want to know. How many of these can I upgrade? So that's going to cost me 8 energy, 20 stone, 30 iron. Go ahead and do it. Yep, start getting these upgraded. I got to come to terms with the upkeep that we're going to be living with in just a little bit. And so that's really kind of my goal for right now. Is for 5 of those upgrades, I want to know what that's going to look like on our balance sheet. We've got enough iron to where we shouldn't have a bottleneck on the production of our defenses. That should be okay. As soon as those are done, it knocked us down by about 200. So every time we upgrade like 6 of these. So how many of these do I have to upgrade? I have 26 of them. We did 5 right there. That dropped us about 40 each. So for the 26, it's going to drop us by about 800. That'll get us down to 600 gold. That's definitely not good enough, running the quick back of the envelope math in my head. And there is our memory leak again. The game has a memory leak now or something. After about 10 minutes of playing, it drops down to like 1 frame per second. And I got to restart the game over and over again. That's a new addition with the new patch along with the Thanatos. He's so badass, he makes the game lag. Alright, so after another game restart, I'm hoping they patch that out in the next day or two. They're definitely going to want to get it before their Steam release, that's for sure. I don't know if it's just me that's getting that, but if anybody else is getting it at the same time, it might hurt the release a tiny bit. I don't know if it's a memory leak or whatever. I got to dive into the reports for the game, take a look at the process log, and see what's going on with it, see if I can tease out what's happening. We got a number of badass snipers here. The downside with snipers is they tend to be too slow to get kills. And so you sort of want them to be out in the front of everything, if you can. There you go. Much better. They don't take damage that badly, so don't worry about them being too fragile for their position. We just want them to get XP, and they're not getting any right now. You guys shoot that. Yep, exactly. Perfect. Keep those specials off of us. You fall back ever so slightly so we've got like a unified front over here. And keep shooting. We're sitting on maxed out resources at the moment except for iron. That's to be expected because we are upgrading defenses at a breakneck pace. I like where we're at right now, but I doubt we're gonna need a little bit more space. I was looking at the map in between my reload just to kind of get my plans in front of myself, and I think pushing down around here and seeing what we got going on, I think we're gonna need like 1 more strip of land. If I can get like 1 or 2 more stone mines, just a little bit more, not a lot, just a little bit, 1 or 2 more stone mines, that'll give us the breadth we need for like one more power plant, 2 more power plants, which I think is going to be necessary. On top of that, we're also going to need the power for extra houses because we're going to run out of workers. We have 76 workers right now, which is aight. It's not amazing, but it's aight. I'd like to be a little bit better set up, though. Ideally, for the end of the game, what I'd like to have is along all of the fronts where we'll be fighting with the enemy, I'd like to have towers. And in those towers, I'd like to have snipers to keep the shitty McSpitties at the end from sniping over the top. Why did it just make a gold pickup sound? What the hell is this dude doing? What is this soldier doing? He's part of the main group. What is he doing? Huh. I have no idea what that soldier was doing out there, but he was trying to get himself killed, apparently. I don't know if I should be focusing on soldiers or snipers. Everybody says to keep ignoring soldiers. I do think that with the veteran changes and also the Titan changes, that soldiers have become a lot more attractive as units. But most people seem to say to go straight for snipers and Thanatoses now. It seems to be the general gist of the gameplay that I'm seeing. We'll get advanced quarries. Sure, let's keep that research running. We are still going to want Titans. I know that Titans have been nerfed and they've been hurt a little bit, but adding a couple Titans for clearing the map would definitely give them a little bit more oomph in the clearing team over here. Like just 5 or 6. I don't think we need that many, but 5 or 6 of them would make it so that I could actually retire a lot of these dudes back to the walls, so that if an attack comes at a time that I'm not expecting, I can take care of it without any issues arising. And I don't like issues. Issues are bad and they make my life stressful. And so I try to stay away from them. See what I mean? The snipers will naturally sort out of the front because they're slower. And so occasionally you're going to have to push snipers or put them on a flank so that they can focus on enemies and actually get some XP in. They've got 53 right there. That was one of the reasons why I took the archers out of the rotation, is just so these guys could handle their business. In fact, you guys push out a little bit further that way. Separate from the main force. And just sort of see what you can do down here. The walls are under attack. Well, what else is new? It should be fine. I don't think we're going to run into problems right there. With maxed out resources, I should absolutely be focused on continuing to push things outwards. I just want to clear this area. What I'm hoping is that there's a choke right here, a choke right here, and a choke right here. That way, I can sort of all encompass this area before I do all my executor upgrades. And that should give me a nice little breath of fresh air. Get me some more farms in, make things happen with power and everything maxed out. Have I completed every single scrap of research that I possibly can? Just buy things. That's pretty much the name of the game right now. Buy stuff. Other things that I can do here is I can drop in more cottages. That's another option. A few more cottages might be a decent call. I find that since I always have a wood surplus, my favorite thing to do is just build wood houses. If you build wood houses, it seems to work out. The stone houses take a lot of resources, and so it's easy to overspend. What I like to do is I put down the wood houses, and then I upgrade them later on once I know that I have the resource, once I have like the random stone and things that I need in order to make stuff happen. I'm going to get rid of this wall right here because I'd like to put in another stone mine right there. We're not utilizing this area, and that stone mine is too valuable to have a wall right there. And so some people will disagree with that decision, but I want that stone mine. I want it bad. And that should take care of all the stone we're going to need into the future. As far as wood goes, power plants would be nice. We're going to lose 5 wood every single time we get a power plant. So maybe like an extra wood lodge over here to kind of offset the cost of whatever's going to happen next. If I can get that out, that's a 7 right there. I think this is looking like the winner. So there's 8 on that side. That gets us enough for at least 2 more power plants. Oop, shit, you guys should fall back. You guys should handle him. Fall back to this side. Yep, outrange the shitty McSpitties. Very nice. It does look like we have a little choke right here. Little tiny chokehold. So I'll probably push across right there. Give us a nice little wall to play around with. I don't know if I'll have time to do it before the next wave, but I'm going to start putting in pylons. If they get claimed by the ravenous hordes of the undead, don't really care. It's an easy enough problem to fix. You just go back through and click the repair button, and problem solved. And so don't worry about losing pylons when you're trying to expand. Just do it aggressively. If the pylons get eaten, that's fine. Just don't build anything until all the pylons and all the walls are in place. Just in case a zombie sneaks through and gets a pylon, you don't end up with like an apocalyptic situation where one zombie turns into like 80 of the little bastards, because they do like to multiply. They do, they do, they do. So, next up, looking at our resource list, we've got power. Power's looking good. We can get a 34 farm in right there, and if we're just going to wall this off anyways, I probably won't knock out all of those spaces, but I will knock out some of these spaces. I'm going to put that a little bit safer right there in front of all the ballistas in case any zombies try to get through and cause problems. We do have a nice choke right here, and so we've almost pushed to the southern edge of the map. More space is what I'm concerned about more than anything else. We could also consider a few more Thanatoses for the walls. I would go in on something like that right there. Just like 5 more. So we put 4 on each wall. I may not even mess around with Titans in this playthrough. I don't know. We might see how Thanatoses do. They seem pretty good. I have not been disappointed thus far with their performance. And so I'm excited to see what they can do in the near future. We've pushed that back far enough. You guys fall back. Everybody hit him, fall back. You guys hit him. Yep, don't get hit by acid today, please. I would love it if you would not. So these buildings are done down here. We don't have a lot of time before the next wave, but we've cleared down to here, so screw it. Let's push. I will probably leave like a small contingency right here. You guys go back this way. You guys go back this way. Just essentially watch these towers as they go up. If they get bulldozed, that's cool. 2 you guys go over there to watch that. Should be enough DPS to kill anything that tries to sneak through and be an asshole. I'm trying to keep the DBA rule in effect on all of our zombie friends over here. The only real concern is Shitty McSpitties. If Shitty decides it wants to hit one of those, you know, it doesn't get inside the range of the ballistas or anything else. Becomes a little bit of a debacle. So I'll probably just do a little tiny wall right there. Then just put a whole bunch of random shooties all along this right here, like some Thanatoses. Sounds like the strategy to go to. How you guys doing on XP over here? You doing good? Nice. And so that ballista's taking care of that right there so that I can actually focus on clearing this area. As the zombies start to flood in, I may have to keep a couple of you back over here just to make sure they don't whack this wall the second that I want it to fall. Somebody shoot him, please. Yeah, stop letting him throw acid all over us. We actually have multiple shitties over here. Fall back to another point. And that, my friends, is a casualty list, unfortunately. We lost a couple of veteran soldiers right there. That's okay, because I've got another stack of snipers over here who are all ready to go. And that's why I like to keep my units in production if I can. You fall back. I may have gotten a little overly aggressive down this way. Let them come to us for right now. Although, fair warning, we're not going to be able to do that forever. We might actually get overrun down here. We actually have a very real issue if they keep throwing specials at us. A super real issue. Ah, well, we're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for another episode of They Are Billions. It's been fun, everybody. If you wanted to hang out live, twitch.tv/SplatterCatGaming. You want to support the video, click that like button down below. Best way to do it. I will see you all next time. Farewell.